What is up, everybody? I'm No Lux Given here with your afternoon snap, and in today's video we're gonna take a look at a game where we actually fought for Hala. And these games are always favorites of mine because typically Hala is not a location that players will fight for. Either neither player plays to the location or one player will, which scares the other player off. Or you have players play cards like Electro and Mr. Negative that they're kind of just hoping will get destroyed anyways. But in this game, we actually fought for it, and that kicks off with 0 against Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl isn't really my opponent fighting for Hala. In fact, they're putting more power into the other locations as they'll be able to pump up those squirrels later. But on turn 2, I'm going to throw my Lizard into Hala. I basically started throwing my cards there because I didn't know what the other locations would be, and then once I've already put some power there, I'm incentivized to make sure I can make those cards stick around. My opponent throws a Shocker there on turn 2, kind of a shocker that they are going to battle for the Hala, and then on turn 3, we've got a tough decision to make. Gamma Lab is the third location, and I rip Sunspot off the top of my deck. Now I could turn Sunspot into the Hulk, however my opponent already has a Squirrel in the Gamma Lab. So I feel like I'm just gonna let them have that location, and I'm gonna put 4 power into Hala to try to kill the cards that my opponent has already played there. However, feeling confident in the Gamma Lab already, my opponent is also going to put 4 more power into Hala with Cyclops, and then X Mansion gives them Mr. Fantastic, which almost ties Hala while giving me Angel. So I didn't really get lucky off the X Mansion, and now I've got another really important decision to make. This deck is called Shuri 0. Shuri is one of the main cards in the deck. People mostly just call the deck Shuri. You want to play Shuri on turn 4. But I think if I do that, I won't be able to beat my opponent in Hala, so I think I have to run out She-Hulk this turn and just throw that in Hala to make use of everything that I've already invested there, and I'm glad that I did because my opponent's Patriot would have been able to win that location, but instead we are now able to take it with 21 power. But now we're kind of like over-invested into Hala, so I'll have to try to still salvage these other 2 locations, and Gamma Lab probably not going to be it, but I think I can get there with Taskmaster plus Arrow on the final turn. So that's the plan here. Taskmaster to copy that 10 power from She-Hulk, and we'll see what my opponent has on turn 5 as they flip over in Iron Man, and that's really scary. But we are now currently beating my opponent in X Mansion, and as long as I can use Arrow to pull their play into the Gamma Lab, I should be able to grab the win. I'll also throw Titania into the X Mansion just for a little bit of insurance in case they're able to pump their team a little bit further. And on the final turn, my opponent does indeed play to that center location, but we're able to move them over with Arrow, but their final card is Ultron, which gets super close to tying us in that center location, and a tie would have won my opponent the game. So honestly, a really close game despite that win in Hala, but we were still able to take the win. That's gonna be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace.